Many people buy real estate for many reasons. Some will be that they want to buy and sell. Some will be they want to buy and live. Some will be they want to buy and keep. So your purpose of buying real estate investment, you must first understand it. So you must know when you supposed to execute whatever your target is. Whether you want to buy and sell, you want to buy and keep, when is the right time to buy and sell? When is the right time to buy and keep? When is the right time to buy and flip? Hello smart investors, welcome to Real Estate Made Easy, your number one YouTube channel where we educate you, we inform you, and enlighten you about real estate investment by giving you pro tips, guides, advice, and warning so that you can avoid the costly mistakes other people are making in order to enable you make the right real estate investment decision with peace of mind. If you are coming across this video for the first time and you are here to subscribe to this channel, kindly do so right away and turn on the notification bell so you do not miss our subsequent video. After watching this video, you can also do well by going through our playlist and watch previous episodes we have covered to improve your real estate investment knowledge. Today, we'll be discussing an important topic as usual, that is 5 signs that show you must not sell your property yet. That is our discussion today. That is 5 signs that show you must not sell your property yet. So what are these 5 signs you must see? And once you see them, you should know that it is not time. It is not ideal for you to sell your property. That is our discussion today. So make sure you stay tuned and enjoy this beautiful discussion. Number 1, when the company or the developer is still selling. At this time, what the majority of people that buy during this stage are people like you who are investors, people who want to be the early bird. Usually during this period, usually when you hear pre-launch offer, people will buy, and when you launch, people will buy. So at this stage, if you are buying and you want to sell, you will not be selling to make the right return on investment because the property you want to buy is still available in the market. People can easily go back to the developer and buy. People can easily go back to the company that is selling and also buy. So how much do you want to offer? For instance, you bought the property for, let's say, 5 million naira, and the company is still selling the same property for 5 million naira, and you want to sell your property. How much do you intend to sell the property? So that is to show that it is not time for you to sell your property when the property developer is still selling, or when that property is still readily available in the market. That is not the best time to sell your property. Selling that property at that period will not give you the ideal return on investment because you will not be able to dictate the property price, because the same property can be bought at the same price you are seeing. Even the developer may even offer your competitor a lower percentage because the developer needs more urgent money to do other things. But you have just 1 or 2 acres you want to sell. The developer has about 20. So you may not even bother to give some discount you may not be able to give. So you should know that when the developer is still selling or the property is still readily available in the market, that is not the best time for you to sell. Number 2, if it is still the investors that are still buying, like I earlier mentioned, during this period is when a property is newly launched, the first set of people that usually buy are the investors. These investors are people who also want to resell later on in future. So they buy it at when it's still very much affordable, when it's still relatively very cheap. So if you want to sell when it is still investors that are still buying, then who will you sell to? So you don't sell at that instance. That is also to tell you that it is not the right time for you to sell. Because if you want to sell, the people you bought the property together at the same rate, at least the set of people that you still sell it to. So when the property becomes higher, when it's not in demand, when it's not scarce, what will you sell? Who will you sell? Who will you sell to? You don't have that property again because let's assume you buy the property 5 million naira, 10 million naira, 3 million naira, 20 million naira, and your fellow investors at that time they also bought it at the same rate, and you want to sell. They may not even mind to give you maybe just 5% difference. Maybe you bought it for or 10% difference, and to buy from you, they will acquire it from you because they know for sure that they will be able to sell it at higher price when they are ready to sell. So don't sell when it is still your fellow investors that are still selling, that are still buying, because investors usually buy when the property is already available, like during the promo period, the property is newly launched, and so on and so forth. So don't sell at that instance when it is still the investor. Sell ideally when the property becomes scarce and people want to. So the pro tip is that when are you then supposed to sell? You are supposed to sell when the property becomes scarce and people who want to build and live in that estate are the one looking for it, not people who want to use it for investment like the way you did. People who are ready to acquire the property, live in it, build on it, or even use it for business. When it's the time they are the one looking for the property, that is when you know that yes, you can begin to sell, because at that time the property is already scarce people no longer have it readily available, and the demand is already high. So that is the positive, is that you sell where the property is in higher demand, not where the demand is very low. When the higher the demand, then the higher the price. That is the positive. 3, where the ROI is still low, that is the return on investment is still low, you should know that is not ideal time for you to sell. For instance, like I have earlier given different example, you buy a property, let's say for 1 million naira. Now you want to sell it for 1.2 million naira. That is still not good enough. You bought a property for 10 million naira. You want to sell it for 10.2, 10.3. You should know that the return on investment is still relatively low. That is not the ideal time. The ideal time for you to sell, I've earlier told, is when the property is of higher demand. So you need to, don't say because you bought the property for, it's been to 2 years, 3 years, you bought the property, the price is not changing, this and that. You people that bought it in XYZ location, they're already selling for XYZ price. That is not so. You must exercise patience. That's why you must, like I earlier established in one of our previous episodes, that real estate investment is not for everyone. You must invest when you are readily available to invest. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. So you must understand your investment appetite. If you are looking for a short time of investment, where you can buy and flip, then the location you'll be considering is different, even though it is also real estate. So if you are looking for a place that you want to double and triple your return on investment, then you must also be ready to exercise patience for that market to come. So if the return on investment is still very low, you should know that it's not a good time for you to sell. Look at Beji Lekki, for instance. Beji Lekki, that is now also that people are buying now. People are even buying. Beji Lekki is already selling for 30. It's already selling for 35 now. Some people bought that same Beji Lekki when it was just selling for what? Some people bought Beji Lekki when they were selling for just 300,000 naira per plot, 400,000 naira per plot, 500,000 per plot. Do you know that Beji Lekki now, there are some locations in the Beji Lekki, particularly along the Eleko axis, already selling for 30 and above. I mean 30 million and above. So imagine those people that bought it. Do you know how many years ago they bought this when they were just 500,000 naira per plot, 300,000 naira per plot? But look at how much it is now. Some people bought Lekki Phase 1 when it was just selling 1 million naira per plot. When it was just selling 1.2, 3 million, 10 million, 5 million, and now they are selling when please, it's very rare for you to see a property in Lekki Phase 1 selling for 150 per plot now. So you can see that the return on investment is very high now, but the time they have to wait to is also there. So you must wait to sell your property when the property is in high demand, and there are so many factors that are responsible for that. That's why you must understand where you are going to and what government is doing there. If government is doing something there, government has interest in that location, then you can be rest assured that your investment will still skyrocket. Your investment will still appreciate. But not a place that is just one place in your village, one place in your one city, just in one place, just buy for buying. You don't buy for buying. You must do your calculation. You must do your analysis. Then you can be rest assured that yes, you are making the right investment decision. So you must not sell when the return on investment is still very relatively low, except you want to sell under distress. And that is what also we have also giving you tips on that. Just number 4, don't sell what others are still selling. Like I've earlier said this, so I've also told you about this. When your property is still relatively available, your core investors are the ones selling. Don't also sell at that time if you are not in need and nobody is pushing you. You are not pushing anybody. So don't sell when others are still selling. Now you don't forget that I earlier told you that don't sell when it's investors that are buying. Your co-investor. Now don't also sell when it is your co-investor that are selling. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Imagine now, for instance, now let's say when Lekki Phase 1 started selling, was let's say about 10-15 years ago, when Lekki Phase 1 was selling about 1 million naira, 10 million naira, 5 million naira. Some people bought it, majority of people bought it then when it was just selling for, let's say, 5 million naira. Now those people that bought it at 5 million naira, let's say now they are now selling, probably they are selling for 7 million naira. Lekki, that place has appreciated. The property I bought for 5 million naira, I'm not selling for 10 million, 7 million naira. So many people definitely want to dispose of their property. So many people will sell as at that time. Some will want to hold a bit and sell when it was selling for 10 million naira. Then that property is already times to the price, so they are selling. So those who are selling are those who will acquire the property together at the same rate. So don't sell that time, because when they sell, the same property that are selling for 10 million naira, that they sold for 10 million naira, some people bought it from them when it was 10 million naira. Those people sold it when it was 15. Some people bought the same Lekki Phase 1 when it was selling for 10 million naira and they sold it around 15-20 million naira. Some also bought around 20 million naira and they sold at 25 30 million naira. So you can see, because those were the region and those people that were selling at that time with that place I really appreciated, they were happy to sell. And because those were the early investors and they were disposing of their property because they thought that's probably the peak they could get to. So many of them rushed to sell. And as an ideal investor, that is when you are supposed to, because don't sell when investors are still selling. Those you bought the property together. So imagine the people now who bought it when it was just selling, those who bought it at the minimal stage of, let's say, 5 million naira, 1 million naira, or 10 million naira, and now they are just selling now. When the property in Lekki Phase 1, the least you can see, that's even very scarce anyway, maybe 150 million naira per plot. So imagine somebody who bought the property when it was just 10 million naira, now selling for when it is 150 million naira, 250 million naira, even with plea that, please, I beg, please consider me now, please consider me. I'm really interested in this property. And people are even begging you. Now imagine you have 2 acres, 3 acres that you have acquired when it was just 10, 20 million naira. So you now imagine the value now. So that is when you must know when it is the right time for you to sell. So that means that even by the time you sell just one plot of the acres you have acquired, imagine what you'll be commanding. So that is to tell you that don't sell when others are selling. Take your number 5. Don't sell during an emergency. This is also, we have told you about this several times. The worst time to actually sell property is during an emergency or during a distress sale. It is not truly ideal and it's not encouraged to sell during this period. In our previous list as well, like I've told, that's why I say, please kindly, if you are here to subscribe to the channel, do so right now and turn on the notification bell. We've covered so that you stay updated. And you do, after watching this video, make sure you go back to the playlist and learn from other one we have discussed, because we have also discussed when not to sell. So this is an updated version of it. Don't sell during an emergency, because when you're an emergency, you will not be the one to dictate the price. The market will be the one to force you. So those who want to buy it at that time will be telling you how much you want to offer. And because you are in need of the money, you may have little to no choice because of the urgency of the demand that you needed to solve. So but you need to sell when you are the one dictating the price, when you are at ease and you are comfortable. That is the right and ideal time for you to sell. So don't sell during an emergency. Don't sell during don't do panic selling. Don't sell for distress purposes, because during this period you will not be able to have the right decision about market value. So the market may want to push you to sell what they want to acquire. So sell when you are more comfortable to sell, not during an emergency. In summary, you've learned the 5 signs you must see to know that it is not ideal for you to sell your property yet. And I hope these 5 points are of value to you and you have actually been able to learn one thing or the other about improving your real estate investment knowledge, so that you can make the right real estate investment decision at the right time for the right result. If you are getting value from this video, kindly subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our subsequent video. You can also do it by sharing this video with your loved ones, wherever they are in any part of the world, either in UK, in US, South Korea, North Korea, anywhere they are. Make sure they also get value to this information, because real estate investment doesn't have to be difficult. It can be made easy, and you can always enjoy making real estate investment, because one of the easiest means of getting rich, getting transgenerational wealth is through real estate. So you must learn to do it right to get the right result. I remain your award-winning real estate consultant, property advisor, Bello Kamaldeen Idowu. Till I come your way next time, please make sure you remain blessed and stay tuned. Thank you.